Hey, welcome back. I encourage all of our listeners to get on my website, shalomklein.com, to download podcasts from the past 7+ years of shows all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And speaking of podcasts, get on your favorite app because we have hundreds of conversations, including my conversations with military leaders on my other show called We All Serve. So my next guest, Manuel Astruc, knows the dark side of entrepreneur life and wants to help others avoid that same burnout. Manuel, you have quite a story that I know your journey has been going on for many years, but a lot of it developed after your twin sister passed in 2008. Manuel Astruc, welcome to Get Down to Business.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So you are the founder of Your Next Act. And you, as I just alluded to through that story, you experienced what you call total burnout. Manuel, if you don't mind, tell us your story.
So I'm a psychiatrist, and usually I'm the person that's helping other people. When I started in psychiatry, I had a plan. I was going to do some years working on an inpatient unit to get good at my craft and working with the most challenging patients that there were. And then I would start an outpatient practice and get good at that. And I had done that. And from the outside, my life looked great. The practice was booming. I was really busy and things were going well. But on the inside, I had gotten very burnt out. I was emotionally exhausted. One day looked very much like the next day. It was like a treadmill. And finally, like you said, in September 2008, the month before my twin sister Magdalena had passed away, I hit a bottom, and something had to change. And that's when I made a commitment that I was going to start enjoying the ride no matter what. And 12 years later, my coaching company, Your Next Act, I'm helping other entrepreneurs with the other side of success. Successful entrepreneurs are also going to have that other side where they deal with addiction and trauma and burnout. And I've done all of that myself. And in my coaching practice, so when I'm not doing my psychiatric practice, I can talk very openly about the challenges that I faced and to help to elevate that conversation where in most of society, it's still a big stigma.
It is a big stigma, and I have these conversations all the time, and it's easy. It's actually easier as an entrepreneur to get burnt out than you might realize. And we talk about entrepreneurship. We talk with business owners all the time on the show. And often we focus on the successes, all of the joys of being in business. And there are many. And I know, Manuel, I know you experienced that, but you've been in business now for 20+ years. Your thriving psychiatry practice has been around for 20+ years and have worked with over 50,000 hours of working with patients. So I'm blown away and inspired by the coaching that you have launched, and it's really coming, as you said, from your own personal journey and from your own personal story. So you talked about your sister, your twin sister, passing, and you and Magdalena, you have several siblings. So tell us a little bit about that home life that may have contributed to the entrepreneur that you are today.
So there were 7 kids growing up. Magdalena and I were the oldest, and we were born in Spain, and we moved to the United States when I was 5 years old. And at that point, there was 5 kids, and 2 were born here in the United States. And the family culture was one of, you're going to become a professional. So it was never really a question. And I was good at math. I was good in science. I was good in school. I was told you'd make a good doctor. And that was a path that had been laid down and beaten. And it was by default, right? It's a chosen path. It seemed like a good idea. And there's no thought process involved. We check the box and we go into med school. And entrepreneurship is very different. What I discovered after I was burnt out was that I really had a love of blazing my own trail and figuring things out, which takes a whole different skill set than what it took to be a doctor. To be a doctor, you just had to work really hard in school. An entrepreneur has to have a lot of other skills besides working hard.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you have honed those skills and have used it to help others as well. So we are going to squeeze in a break very shortly, but you are providing both a lot of public speaking, a lot of group coaching, but also individual sessions. So COVID is something that I talk about this on the program all the time. It's been a challenge to many, but from what I see from your practice, which primarily, as I understand it, is based in New York, but it's actually allowed you to coach and help people all over the country and all over the world. So has COVID been a positive in some ways?
Yeah. So it's all in how you think about it always, right? My coaching business was all local. I had gotten a new office space with a conference room where I could do workshops, and COVID shut that down 100%. So it took a plan where I was going to go national and international in 5 to 7 years. And it was like, I have to start now. So that's what we do. We shift, we adjust, and we go faster than I would have otherwise.
Absolutely. Necessity is the mother of all invention. And there you go. And that's what entrepreneurs do daily, is constantly innovating, constantly thriving. And I know that's what you are helping your customers with, your customers, your clients, your friends that you are getting to know through your practice. Again, inspired by your own personal journey. Again, I've been chatting with Manuel Astruc, and we are going to continue our conversation. But your next act, how can people get a hold of you if they are inspired by this conversation?
You can find me at my website. It's manuelastruc.com. That's ManuelAstruc.com. And you can sign up for some free information that we have when you get there.
Fantastic. ManuelAstruc.com. We're going to squeeze in a very quick break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation all about your next act, about the story of the thriving entrepreneur, learn the secrets of overcoming burnout. We'll be right back. We are back with Manuel Astruc from Your Next Act, who has developed a thriving psychiatric practice, but also a coaching practice as well. So, Manuel, we have been chatting about your story, and you have developed a framework to help people. And it's all about the takeaways here and Get Down to Business. It's all about the things that our listeners can put in place really easily and perhaps almost immediately in their own lives and their own practices. So, Manuel, tell us a little bit about that structure and how it works.
One of the things that I have discovered looking back over the last 12 years, since I made a commitment to enjoy the ride no matter what, was that I've put being happy and enjoying the ride at the center of my life. And I think it's a framework that can be super helpful for folks to be thinking about in their own lives. So the on-ramp is, first, you choose happiness. Rather than being a victim or comparing yourself to others. But you start by choosing, then you work on energy. And as a doctor, energy also translates into better health down the road. So make sure that you're concentrating and focusing on sleeping adequately, moving more, eating better, meditation or prayer practices, gratitude. All of those are important things that will also help your well-being down the road. Now there's 4 pillars that I teach on with happiness. There's a lot we can talk about all of them, but they're frameworks that anybody can remember. So first is connection. There is so much evidence that the quality of our relationships correlates really highly with our overall emotional health and our physical health as we age. And it's all about finding the community and those relationships that are important to us.
Absolutely. And those are things that again, anybody, regardless of where they're at, it's something that you could put in place immediately. After listening to this show, it's something that you can start to put in place. But go ahead, Manuel.
Yeah. Then I like to think about blazing your own trail. Life by default versus blazing your own trail, but figure out the sorts of things that you're curious about, that you're good at, that you're uniquely skilled at. Usually it's so obvious that you don't even notice that you're good at it. It's as plain as the hand in front of your face to you, but to everybody else, those unique skill sets are not so easy. But that's a way to start to blaze your own trail.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the commitment to enjoying the ride. Always. We have a way of focusing on things that we're missing or what other people have. And when we commit to enjoy the ride, we take responsibility for the environments that we're putting our brain, people who are toxic or draining versus people who are healthy and inspiring to us. And also the thoughts that we're thinking and repeating to ourselves. We're not in charge of the thoughts as they come up, but we're in charge of where we're putting our attention and which thoughts we're giving more energy to and which ones we're just kind of not going to pay attention to.
This is all phenomenal advice. And again, I don't want to take away all of the secrets because I know that you speak about it regularly. You're providing group coaching as well as individual sessions through your next act. So I've been chatting with Manuel Astruc. One more time for our listeners, can you share your website where people can learn more and find out more information about some of your upcoming opportunities to continue the discussion?
Yes, ManuelAstruc.com. That's ManuelAstruc.com. And if you do a /free, there's a video that talks about our greatest superpower.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to checking that out. Manuel, thank you so much for sharing your story with our listeners, and I look forward to bringing you back on real soon. And throughout our program, we've had some fantastic conversations, starting with Tom Mirabali, Tim Fitzpatrick, Irina Freeman, and finally, Manuel Astruc. We are the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get on my website, shalomklein.com. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.